Hi, my name is Ali Mehdi. I'm a photographer based in Saskatoon. I immigrated to Canada from Pakistan in 2001 and moved to Saskatoon, Saskatchewan in 2005. I want to thank Saskatoon Open Door Society for inviting me to be part of Threads. I am passionate about travel and have traveled to many countries around the world. I pride myself in having the ability to connect with people on an intimate level and have learned to be comfortable with becoming uncomfortable. All of my experiences with traveling have pushed me out of my comfort zone and allowed me to grow and appreciate how other people in the world live. As I tell you some of my stories about cultural exploration, I will focus on themes such as curiosity, hospitality, and the human connection. Curiosity. So be curious and willing to explore when you travel. Take away the barrier of language and connect with people by investing in their passion and their cultures. Taste their food, admire their work, try to appreciate what makes their culture unique. You will never truly know what you may learn to love if you're not willing to explore your curious senses. Follow your nose, your heart, and your curiosity. I had visited Turkey twice before, but was hesitant to go to the Grand Bazaar. It almost seemed overwhelming and intimidating. The Grand Bazaar is located in Istanbul and is one of the largest covered markets in the world. This being my third time in the area, I could not pass up the opportunity to venture into the Grand Bazaar again. As I was walking through the bazaar, I glanced at one of the antique shops. A man was sitting in the corner, carefree from all the noises and aromas of the bazaar. This place was his environment, and you could tell he was at home here. I was curious about him. I decided to walk in without any expectations. I asked him if I could look around his shop with the ulterior motive to know his story. Small talk eventually led to him ordering us some chai and us talking about life in Turkey, my travels, and his children and grandchildren. We shared bits of our stories. I discovered his name was also Ali, and he had been in the Grand Bazaar for the past 60 years. His life began in Izmir, and he eventually moved his craftsmanship to a tiny corner shop at the Grand Bazaar. You can tell he was passionate about what he was doing. To him, the only thing that mattered was his ability to build, create, and share his creations with tourists and locals throughout the market. It not only allowed him to provide for his family, but also allowed him to express himself. We shared life philosophies, copious amounts of chai, and personal experiences. Ali even shared some of his suggestions of places I should see before I left and continued on my travels. Curiosity was the magnet that pulled me towards Ali and his beautiful shop at the Grand Bazaar. So there are two stories to curiosity when traveling. Oftentimes we forget that locals are just curious about you and your travels also. They want to know why you have a big backpack on your back and are traveling alone in public transportation with only locals. They want to know your story. This is Dila Feroz. I met her while I was taking a train from Kazakhstan to Uzbekistan. Kazakhstan is a very large country requiring a great amount of travel. The most economical option for locals is to use the train daily. For me, train travel is exhausting, and I admire that transportation is different every place I go. My 23-hour train ride from Kazakhstan to Uzbekistan did not seem too daunting when I inquired about the train from West Kazakhstan to East Kazakhstan and was shocked to find out this train would take me 60 hours, almost 3 full days. Dilafroz was traveling with her husband. I was drawn to her because of her kind smile and copious amounts of snacks. She was an experienced traveler on the train. I, on the other hand, did not bring any snacks because I was told you could buy food on the train. You could buy food on the train, but they ran out quickly. From her experience, she could tell I was fairly new to this and did not bring any snacks of my own. Anytime she herself would grab a snack, she would offer snacks to me, including tea. She took care of me without saying any words while I was looking at my Lonely Planet, which is a book, which is, I would say, a traveler's book. I could tell she was curious and wanted to see for herself, but she couldn't say. So I showed her a picture of Uzbekistan in the book. She said it was Samarkand. I nodded and I handed her the book so she could look at the rest of the photos. Dilafroz started showing the Lonely Planets to everyone and people were smiling. Others began to ask where I was from and we exchanged passport so we could see what they look like. Someone brought up their phone and Googled Saskatchewan and we found Saskatoon on the map. These are moments that make me want to travel again and again. These are the moments that bring me back to realizing that we are all people, culturally different, magnificent, unique people, all all on our own adventures to see the world. It's not all glamorous, but curiosity has allowed me to have experiences that connect me with others. Let that curiosity guide you to observe the world. Here are some pictures from what my curiosity led me to. I was couchsurfing in Konya, Turkey, and I was told there will be a Sema ceremony, and I was invited by my host to attend. I had heard of whirling dervishes, but had never seen them. This worship ceremony was open to the public once a week. I instantly accepted the invite, and when I was watching the whirling dervishes, I was speechless. They were meditating, they were in some sort of state of nirvana. Sema is a worship ceremony based on the philosophy of Rumi. It symbolizes the rise of the human soul by releasing the ego to become enlightened and thus to become united with God. This photo is from Samarkand, Uzbekistan. Central Asia is a very photographic place in general, but Shai Zinda complex is most often photographed. There is a mystery to this place. The complex tile work and the tradition that Husam ibn Abbas, first cousin of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, brought Islam to this region where he disappeared into this very place where Shah Zinda was built. When I travel, I try to couch surf as much as possible. Couch surfing is a platform where you stay with locals for free accommodation. I love couch surfing because you get to experience how locals live, what their country is really like. In return, you can gift them something. I often cook them a meal and made mango milkshakes for them. No matter where I've traveled, I've always received amazing hospitality. I was blown away with the level of hospitality in many countries. People just wanted to share their time with you and feed you. This photo was taken in Tabriz, Iran. Me and William, my friend from Denmark, had taken a train from Turkey to cross into Iran. On the first night we were there, we went to grab some food and go for a walk. We met Sadeh and Hojdat on the street, and they had stopped us to ask if they could practice English with us. Without hesitation, we said yes. They asked us about travels and how long we were going to be in Iran for and where we were going to go. We ended up spending the next 4 hours exploring Tabriz, the city we first visited in Iran. They took us to a place to eat. We had a popular Iranian dish called khurme sabzi, which was a type of beef stew. They refused to let us pay for them, and after dinner, we got some ice cream from Al Gholi Palace. This was our first night in Iran. The next 30 days in Iran were incredible. People invited me to join their picnics. They fed me food. They brought me over to their houses and visited their family members. We had lots of chai, copious amounts of delicious homemade chai. This picture here was taken in Kumjung village in Nepal in the Himalayan region. I had finished my month-long trek in the Sagarmatha National Park in the Himalayas in eastern Nepal. On the way back, I had gotten lost, ended up in Kumjung at night when it was pitch black. As I was walking around the village, I saw a woman from Switzerland, and I asked her if there was a place close by that I could stay. She told me she was staying with a host, and maybe they would have room for one more. She took me to their lovely place where the family welcomed me with open arms. I had just experienced an exhausting month in the mountains and was ready for some relaxation, which I enjoyed with them the following week. They fed me, they showed me how they did things around the house. I learned how to plant potatoes for the first time. They even took care of me when I became sick. This photo was taken when I was leaving their home to trek back to Kathmandu. These are some of the travel stories that I've collected over the years. What I want you to focus on now is that through curiosity, observation, and hospitality, I was able to see the importance of the human connection. I was able to dive into other cultures and become completely invested in the connections that were made. We might be from different places, different cultures, speak different languages, but we are all people drawn to one another by the human connection. We're all human beings. And I'll leave you some of the other photos that I've taken during my travels over the years. Thank you.